It's about to go down.
It's lovely pass, and here he turns cleverly. Can he find a finish? Oh, he can!
Skill by Joshua, and a return right hand. Good counter right. Bullen is hurt. Second right hand. That clipped him as well. Now he goes in for the kill.
Well, Ricciardo is inching into the lead, and Ricciardo that win the Italian Grand Prix!
Iguodala running the floor.
Still leading the way with Canada in there too, with the Netherlands.
And Musa makes it 4 goals in 2 World Cup matches.
The Monaco Grand Prix! Ricciardo triumphant in Monza.
Through Bowden Barrett and an early touch and an excellent.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Hello, viewers out there. You're welcome once again to Sports Orbit, reaching you from Leadership TV. My name is Afacho. Salifu Usman is right here with me. Salifu, welcome once again to Sports Orbit.
Yeah, thank you, Alpha. It's always a pleasure to be on the sport with. But on the lifetime one, what is out? Is money for sale?
Yes, well, we'll find out about that. It will be better if it's going to be for sale. If someone like Elon Musk is going to buy it, considering the kind of money he has, yes.
Joke about that.
At least we'll be able to buy players for 200 or 150 million.
I was surprised as money reduced to the level that people have to joke about it, that they wanted to buy Man U.
No, I mean, if someone like Elon Musk wants to buy Man U, I think it's actually a good one.
But the fact that he says he's joking about it, I say that is a mockery of the biggest club like Man U.
Well, that's how he said he was going to buy Twitter, and he eventually come to pass, even though it's subject to litigation.
So,
anyway, it's 2 days to finally, okay, not 2 days actually. It's actually a day to the long-awaited Congress, annual General Assembly of the NFF. This was an event that was scheduled to have held since December 2021, but due to a court order, things had to prolong. But of course, the Ministry of Sport had to vacate that court order, and now finally the annual General Assembly of the NFF will finally hold tomorrow. And of course, top officials in the Ministry of Sport say that the Congress will be held in the interest of the nation and an overriding desire for the growth and development of the game. The Congress of the NFF is its highest decision-making body. The ministry is challenging them to act with national interest and overriding desire for the growth and development of the beautiful game. Also, of course, the statement further said that the ministry has no stake in who emerges or who doesn't at the end of the process, and all ministry staff have been told to stay clear of the politics of the NFF. Ministry officials said Thursday's annual Congress was slated to hold in Lagos. We welcome chairman and secretaries of 44 members of the NFF football associations and of the 36 states and the FCT, the leagues, coaches association, referees association, and the players union. Members of the NFF executive committee, invited dignitaries, NFF management and staff, and a number of other stakeholders. The General Assembly will consider a roadmap towards this year's elective Congress of the NFF, as well as such items as may be proposed by the members or members of the executive committee. So finally, after much underhand dealings, much trying to postpone, much rumors of a third term bid, finally tomorrow the annual Congress of the NFF will take off in Lagos.
Yeah, after you are well correct, it is going to be a D-Day for the stakeholder in Nigeria football.
Yeah.
That particular annual General Assembly Congress, that will definitely make or mar the Nigeria football commissions. And in our own opinion, from the sport orbit here, we can always advise that those that have the luxury all the time and they have the right to be a member, the Congress member should ensure that what is to be paramount in their decisions is the future of the game.
Exactly.
Yes, human beings is always tend to think about his personal needs, think about his personal benefit,
Interest, yeah.
but they should feel that the overall interest of the nation is more important than your personal need. And but sometimes we get it wrong, that feeling that when we should pursue our personal agenda, but if the overall interest of the country is put forward and the overall interest of the country succeed, definitely your own personal interest and whatever the will also be captured in.
Yeah.
So you can only you stand to gain more and benefit more when the interest of the country supersede your decision. But when you are thinking towards yourself, you get it wrong. So the Congress members and the who are going to be there should ensure and feel that the overall interest of the country supersede their personal interest. And when the interest of the whole nation is met, their own individual interest will also definitely be met in. So they should ensure that what matters most is the interest. And our advisor, as different speakers and different forums as well, experts has also advised, they should open up the door for everybody who is genuinely interested and who is genuinely desire to come in to contribute for the Nigerian football. They should open door for everybody, not to just close door against anybody.
I completely agree with you. I mean, Nigerian football belongs to everybody as long as you're a Nigerian. So, like you said rightly, the door should be open for everybody who has something positive to contribute. So we'll be keenly looking forward to this Congress as it goes by. Definitely, deliberations of all that transpire will be made available to us, and trust us here on Sports Update will give you a complete rundown of all the deliberations as they might emanate from that Congress. Now, still onto the NFF elections, where Chief of Staff to the Minister of Youth and Sports, that's talking about Abayola, has urged the Congress members of the NFF to consider in fashioning a roadmap for a fair and free elections. According to him, said the future of Nigeria and the importance of association football. And Yola, in a letter to all congressmen and women on Wednesday, that's today, urged the delegates to set aside pecuniary and personal gain to seriously consider what is in the greater good of the country. He said the world football family have their eyes and ears on what happens in Nigeria in the next couple of weeks, beginning from Thursday's annual General Assembly, that's tomorrow, while recognizing the role of congressmen and women in shaping the way forward and prayed for a fruitful, successful Congress. Yola said he will wholeheartedly seek to participate in the presidential elections for the second time, having lost to incumbent NFF President Amaju Pinnick in 2014. He said, but that if the roadmap is friendly and accommodating. So when you say if the roadmap is friendly, accommodating, I mean, that's his criteria for throwing his hat in the ring. If the roadmap is friendly and accommodating,
it's good. If you look at that, he clearly underlined that if it's friendly and accommodating.
Yeah.
For me, if I may understand what he's trying to say, he's saying in the sense that because we have a scenario where the Congress of Nigeria are always after themselves, try to close, just like I say, close door against people. So you wanted to say that okay, the road, because the Nigerian Football Federations, the cavals within the Nigerian Football, sorry for using that word, or the cavals who are within the Nigerian Football, what they have succeeded to do over the years is to roll out a electoral guideline that would definitely disqualify many people. So that, I think that is what Abayola is telling towards it, trying to see that okay, whatever guideline is going to be rolled out based on the electoral committee that we are going to set up should be made friendly to everybody and to open door for everybody. That is what we mean by accommodating. But in a situation whereby, well, for instance, if you are going by the current status of NFL, the way they have tailored it, unless they have to alter it soon, they have to alter it tomorrow, a lot of people will be disqualified. Because the statute always recommend that it is only if you are a Congress member. So that means anybody outside a Congress member at the moment, anybody outside the state FA chairman, who are not a Congress or a board member, or who is not a financial football club, cannot contest in this election. But why, just like you say, all Nigerians are genuinely qualified to contest to run Nigeria football for as far as he has what to stake to run. And like the person of Abayola, who have seen it all, he has been inside of football for many years. He has there's nothing in sport that you tell him that you don't know. But in terms of international connections and everything, he knows how to go about it. So definitely, but he clearly make it that he will not force himself on you, but try if the roadmap, the guideline is clear, very friendly and accommodating for everybody. You may choose that okay, he's the chief of staff to the Minister of Youth and Sport. By that position,
it might have the minister's backing.
Might have the minister backing. Or wanted to use the minister power to influence the election or to influence whatever decision. But he choose to stay and allow that let the process decide itself. So since he has the power of the minister, but he feel not to use it, so therefore the Congress of the Nigeria should also ensure that open door to allow free and fair. Let everybody test it properly. Let the delegate decide and let Nigeria decide who they think genuinely supposed to lead Nigeria in the interest of the football.
I completely agree with you because a situation like speaking about how the current way the whole thing is composed, because it looks like just less than 100 people can sit down and decide the fate of over 100 million
just
football
44
lovers.
People. Just 44
people
in the country of 200 million.
Exactly. So for me, I really think looking ahead to that Congress, if I have any advice to give to them tomorrow, I think so many changes need to be made.
Yeah, many changes. Because at the moment, many stakeholders, many genuine stakeholders
have not been carried along.
Cut out.
Exactly, because I don't even see a reason why even sport writers, for instance, will not have a stake.
Even the players, so and even the referee.
Exactly. So
what are you saying? I don't know. These are even the real actors of the game. And
if you look at it, a lot of these FA chairmen, most of them are political appointees who know next to nothing about football. And these same people, 44 of them, will sit down, not knowing much about how football is run, how the standard price of football, but they sit down and decide the fate of how football should be run. And over again, Nigeria has even been the worse off for it.
And the most annoying thing is that most of those state officials, some of them have there for 3 decades,
exactly.
4 decades, 2 decades, but you can't point to what they have contributed meaningfully to the development of football in their state level, at the state level. They are just there for their stomach.
Bring me even to that point. I think even on a larger scale, even how FA state chairmen emerge, their tenure, I think those things need to be looked
Thank you very much. Because
a situation where an FA chairman just sit there like it's his father's property for 20 years and nobody is even saying anything, I think it's something that should be discouraged. It should, if it's a third, you want him to say if it's a 2 tenure or 3 tenure, let it be completely spelled out. Not the situation where someone becomes a state FA chairman. We don't even hear when they conduct elections.
No,
they are just there.
They are just there. And for years.
Exactly, for years. So
for instance, the state chairman of Abia, somebody. A very old man, 70, has been there for years, like more than 3 decades. If you go to Ebo, he said the same thing. Obi Ogba, who is currently a senator, who is also currently a governorship aspirant of the PDP, and many things. He is still the FA chairman. You can see how greedy people are. You are telling that in Imo State, there's no anybody. You are a senator, you are a governorship aspirant, and you still descend low to be an FA chairman.
All right, we'll go on a quick break and when we come back, Sport Orbit continues. Stay with us.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
welcome back from that break. You're still on to Sports Orbit. Now to some basketball where President, factional chairman, that is of the NBBF, that's Nigerian Basketball Federation, Mr. Igocha Mark, in furtherance of his quest to boost the development of basketball in the country with technical expertise, is sponsoring 27 coaches to the Gannon Baker Training Clinic. The coaches were drawn from the 36 states and FCT for the 1 week training course. In the same vein, proprietor of Mohit Basketball Club and Mo Foundation, Mr. Mohammed Shehu, is also sponsoring 10 coaches and 10 players to the clinic. Gannon Baker is regarded as one of the best, one of the premier basketball skill coaches in the world, with proven records attached to his name. Since 2011, in June, he has been traveling all over the globe, impacting the game of basketball through player training, coaching clinics, and coach mentorship. So once again, you got your mark, always in the news for the right reasons.
Yes.
Doing what the supposedly NBBF chairman should be doing. I mean, he's even doing far more than the people who are laying claim to the presidency of the NBBF. So I think another worthy, venture coming from the young man, the got your mark.
Yes, I agree with you, Alpha. We can't say anything less than to say thank you for Igocha Mark. That is somebody that's always taking positive, just like he always in the news for the right reason, not for the wrong reason. And the only way you can, if you are thinking about developing the game, you're also thinking about the technical aspect of it. Because you need the coach, and that is the right step that he's taking. Yeah. So we can't say anything but congratulations for him. Maybe one day Nigeria will come to realize that who genuinely mean well for the development of basketball in this country.
Yeah, I mean, it's high time, because some people who have said we are the rightful owners of the seat, we're yet to see any development program. Exactly, when there's a competition. Yeah, exactly. That's where they are. I mean, they should have been chairman of the diaspora NBBF and not the ones who are piloting the affairs locally. Over to some foreign news where a former England manager and Bolton coach Sam Allardyce has named a Nigerian legend JJ Okocha as the standard player while he was in charge at Bolton Wanderers, despite working with other top players including Ivan Campo and Yuri Jokev at the club in the Premier League. The coach believes Okocha was the best because of his ability and skill. In his words, he said, the global phenomenon that the Premier League became meant the most players across the world wanted to play in it. I was fortunate enough to go and pick out some of the players who were absolutely outstanding for Bolton at the time. I think probably the one who stood out the most for everybody was JJ Okocha because of his ability and skill and the entertainment that he actually brought to the Premier League. Not just for Bolton fans, of course. He was, for me, a fantastic captain. We had fantastic array of players over the years, and like I said before, I thoroughly enjoyed working there. So, I mean, what more there's nothing new. What Sam Allardyce is what a lot of Nigerians as no, but it's good that, I mean, coming from his former coach to have said that, look, of all the players, who passed through me during my spell at Bolton, this is one I can single out and say, out of all these players, he trumps all of them.
Yeah, you can't agree less with Sam Allardyce, and not just in Bolton. If you even watch the Premier League, among the only African players, not just African players, the entertainment that Okocha brought to the Premier League is second to none. And just say Okocha was just unfortunate. I'm sorry to use that word, that because he come from Africa, the media were not really friendly for him. So if it happened that Okocha from England, or it happened that Okocha from Brazil, the kind of hype he would have enjoyed would have more than what he got in. So even the World Football Body, the CAF Coalition were not fair to Okocha, because Okocha brought a lot of fun to the beautiful game of football. Up to today, if you click on the Okocha video, it's still a delight that you be willing to spend your time all through to watch it and watch it again because of the dribbling skill and the entertainment. So his name still ring bell in the game of football. If you watch, there are many fantastic players, but the kind of, just like I say, the kind of dribbling skill and the entertainment.
People don't play football like that anymore.
Nobody plays football.
All.
It's a delight.
Yeah.
So you can hardly, the only few players try to mesmerize the kind of skill coach, like people like Ronaldinho, even
not like I said, he's in that generation, but in this era of players, you don't find players with those kind of skills anymore.
They are just about kicking the ball.
Exactly, these days kicking the ball,
kicking around. So,
and statistics. That's what football has become these days.
But
Yeah.
that memory of those days is still fresh.
Exactly. Anyway, to the CAF Confederations Cup, where Remo Stars coach Daniel Ogunmodede has said players and facilities are ready for the CAF Confederations Cup. He also highlighted the role of the world-class Remo Stadium in Ekene, Remo, Ogun State in the qualification of the club for the CAF Confederations Cup. He said this during a media tour of the 20,000 capacity stadium in the Confederation Cup fixtures. Remo Stars, who finished third in last season's Nigeria's Professional Football League, will face 2010 champion ASFAR. Adding, he said, "I'm here to keep the legacy and tradition of the club. We are just coming to the competition for the first time in the history of our club. Kudos to the club, coach, and technical crew. My biggest target is to win all games as they come. It is not impossible to win. The standard of the stadium has contributed tremendously to the success of the team and how we have been able to perform. We are not here there by surprise. It's a systematic plan, and it has come to pass. It is a great achievement for the club and country. He has been helping tremendously for the success of the club." He said, "I prefer our home ground. I'm sure the management will put in place every necessary thing that will help us to host games here. This is simply the best." Well, for some of us, we haven't seen that stadium, but really, I don't know how to give my own honest assessment of it.
Seeing the pictures has been flying around. You give thumbs up for the owners of the club. It's just a new club coming to the league. Get promotion last season.
Yes.
Now they are
On the continent. Exactly.
And
For at the first try.
The first try. So we believe that you hope that, just like the coach is saying, they're not just there to waste a space or to occupy space, but to make use of the space and make sure that yes, Nigeria slot was not just thrown away. It's good that when you are playing on your home ground, instead of say priding yourself as a club and you don't have a home match to play. So we kudos to the owner of the club. A private owned club for that matter, to put up such a defeating state, they're defeating and they get enough to hold the CAF Competition Cup.
All right, now to the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup currently going on in Costa Rica. Falconets will be in action once again early hours of Thursday. We'll see when they clash Canada at in that competition. That match will be Thursday 3 a.m. Nigerian time, but it will be 8 p.m. Costa Rica time. That will be Wednesday, but Thursday Nigerian time. Recall that the Falconets defeated France 1-0 in the competition, and also, followed it up with another victory against the Koreans. And of course, head coach Chris Dozima says his girls have found their feet firmly on the ground as they confront the North Americans for another 3 points. He said, "We would like to make it 3 wins out of 3 to maintain a great mental state. The winning mentality, if we are used to winning, it will be difficult for any team to bring us down." So Falconets will be up in action once again. Whatever happens in this match, they are already through to the quarterfinals.
But just like the coach, is good to maintain your momentum so that your high spirit will continue. So you don't need to tap it down. So if you say, okay, the match against Canada doesn't matter, it may affect you. So all you need to do is just maintain your strategies and to remain focused and take every game as good. There's nothing wrong with continuing to win your match. So it will be a very good one, and also a delight for them if they are able to get another 3 points against Canada.
Top the group.
To top the group.
Yeah, that match, like we said, that comes up 3 a.m. Nigerian time, 8 p.m. Costa Rican time. So hopefully tomorrow we'll be here to give you all the results as they come out from that game. That was still to some World Cup news where former Ghana captain Asamoah Gyan, a lot of us still remember him, especially for that famous incident in South Africa.
Yes.
Well, he has dispelled, the talk about him retirement, but he said he has his eyes firmly on the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, especially from some reports I heard, knowing that Uruguay will once again be in the same group with Ghana. He thinks it's time for flash to take revenge once again.
And at the same time, likely Luis Suarez will also definitely be at part of the Uruguay team. So
yes, exactly.
Maybe the hands of God from Suarez will not happen again. But let's put it aside. Asamoah Gyan was a fantastic striker, a fantastic player for the Ghanaians. his era in the Ghanaian teams was on the high rise. They tried to achieve what their predecessor, their legend could achieve, taking the Ghana to the semi-final of the World Cup. It was a big achievement, and he has been better similar. But my worry is that when we thought that Asamoah Gyan has hung up the boot and joined the put it line, and now come out that no way that he's still ready to go and play. But it's left for the coach to determine that he's still qualified to play. Remember, after his career, that he came down to play for the Ghanaian league. When he suddenly terminated the contract. The last time he played competitive match was made last year. So I don't know how fit he is.
At this point, I don't even know if he's clubless or if he even has a club.
He's clubless at the moment, so I don't know how fit he is to dare himself that okay, he can still go to Qatar and run with the youthful guys there. But
maybe he should be brought on as one of the backroom staff.
But one is that it is also good that if you look at the Ghanaian team at the moment. They are not lack of striker, but you can see that they are lacking of the experienced leaders. So, in as much as Asamoah Gyan may not be too effective, just like the Super Eagles coaches are keeping Ahmed Musa, he can still be back for him who know his experience and he may not play all the matches, but can just come in once in a time and then do what he wants. But all we don't have a say. It's left for the Coach Adu, to decide either he did Asamoah Gyan in his team or not.
All right. Finally, before we leave the studio, to some Premier League news where Liverpool defender Virgil van Dijk has cautioned his new teammate that's talking about Darwin Núñez that he must learn how to control himself after he was sent off after headbutting his opponent in that 1-1 draw at against Crystal Palace. Van Dijk said Núñez had the support of his teammate but must learn to stay calm. He said he's got the backing from us and he knows it should not happen again, and hopefully it will be that way. He has to control himself. Definitely a thing. That's a separate thing. He has to manage himself. He has to be knowing that these things can happen, especially in the Premier League. It will be a learning curve for him and hopefully it will never happen again. So even his teammates have come to say, young man, you're in a new league. Things happen here differently. Sometimes players play these antics to get you worked up, and they did that to you and they succeeded, but you should learn how to control, keep your calm.
As a free advice from the captain of the team there, and he clearly said it all. So Núñez has to be very careful the way he be sure, because if the
becomes a target now,
if the opposing player always get at you and then they get away with you. So at the end of the day, it's to the advantage of the opposition why you put your team as a disadvantage. So he has to learn. If not, if he don't learn, then his day is number in the Premier League.
I agree with you completely. I mean, Premier League is quite a difficult league. Players there are quite knowledgeable and will bring up every antic to ensure that they get ahead of their opponents.
So the Premier League matches, aside the action on the pitch and aside the football, their coaches and the players deploy many tactics to win the match.
Exactly.
So apart from the one-on-one ball.
And you should understand that as a South American, they do that a lot to South Americans.
Players too.
Not Africans are fond of, a lot of antics on the pitch just to ensure that they gain advantage. Anyway, that's where we call it a day on today's episode of Sports Orbit. Don't forget, Falconers will be up in action 3 a.m. on Thursday, Nigerian time, and we'll be looking forward to that one. Salifu, thank you for being in the studio once again.
Thank you.
All right, until we come your way tomorrow again with another wonderful episode. Do stay safe out there. My name is Afa Cho, and it's bye-bye for now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.